Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Smith and I will be teaching you how to multiply decimal fractions by a single digit whole number. So this is going to be a really quick and easy lesson, so let's get going. So the problem we have in front of us is 3 14/100 times 7. So the first thing we want to do is take 3 14/100 and place it on our place value chart. So I'm going to go ahead and find my ones place. I have 3 ones, as you can see, 3 ones, 1/10, 4 hundredths. And once you put that on the place value chart, it illuminates. And what I want my students to think about is, where does this number end? It ends in the hundredths place. So altogether, we have 314 hundredths. And we are gearing up to use the standard algorithm. So I'm going to take 314 hundredths and rewrite it. And as you can see, I put my number in unit form. I have 314 hundredth units, and we're making 7 copies. So then I'm going to set my problem up times 7. And families who are watching this, now it's starting to look like the standard algorithm. But what we did is we got rid of that decimal by putting our number in unit form. This is a very helpful tool for our students as they are beginners or newly learning the standard algorithm. And then we multiply as such. We're going to need this 7 to multiply by each digit one by one, starting on the right. So we start with 7 times 4. We know 7 times 4 is 28. 28 is a 2-digit number. So the first digit goes on the floor, the second digit goes next door. I like to put a little plus in front of it so I know when I multiply the next digit, whatever I get, I need to add that 2 to it. Here we go. 7 times 1 is 7. Any number times 1 equals that number. And now I'm going to add 2 more. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. 9 is a 1-digit number, so there should be no carrying next door. And our final step, 7 times 3, which is 21. Because there aren't any other digits here, I just write 21 down here. So then I'm looking at my answer, 2,198. And I'm thinking to myself, well, that's not really reasonable, because our problem was 3 14/100, which is really close to the number 3 times 7. I know 3 times 7 is 21. So my answer should be really close to 21. But remember, we put our first factor in unit form. So I need to bring hundredths down. And I'm doing this because I really want my students to be so good at renaming these numbers. So this is 2,198 hundredths. And now all I have to do is take this and put it back on my place value chart so I know what that number looks like in standard form. I know this 8 is going to end in the hundredths place. So I find the hundredths place and I go ahead and put my answer down. And I can clearly see that the answer is 21 98 hundredths. Then I go ahead and write my finished product on the answer line. So now I know that you know 3 14 times 7 equals 21 98 hundredths. Check. All right, let's move on to something a little more challenging. So here you can see we have 8 times 6 22 thousandths. So the number we're multiplying has more digits. And notice, going back to the first example, I had the 3-digit number times 7 first, but in this example, I have 8 times first. Remember, in multiplication, we have the commutative property, which means no matter which order these factors are in, your answer will be the same. And I love that about multiplication. So here we go. I look at the number with the most digits and I place that down first. I know this is 6 and 22 thousandths because that 2 ends in the thousandths place. So I'm gonna rewrite that and rename it in unit form. So that means I have 6,022 thousandths. And we're making 8 copies. We're multiplying this number by 8. And just like we did in the first example, we have to multiply this 8 by each digit starting on the right. So we have 8 times 2, which is 16, 6 on the floor, 1 next door. Don't forget that plus. It's very, very helpful for a 5th grader. Next is 8 times 2, which you know is 16, plus 1, 17. 7 on the floor, 1 next door. Next, 8 times 0. Remember, any number times 0 is 0, no matter what. No ifs, ands, or buts. Any number times 0 is 0. So 8 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. And then finally, we have 8 times 6, which is 48. So now I have 48,176 thousandths. Thousandths. And remember, this is unit form. In order to get our answer, we need to convert this back to standard form. All that means is I take it and I place it on my place value chart. I know my final digit is going to end in the thousandths place. Here's my thousandths place. Here we go. So I see the final product is 48 and 176 thousandths. And now I write it on the product line. Pretty easy, right? So remember what you have to do here. We have to first rewrite our number in unit form, set it up in vertical form, which means we're gearing up for the standard algorithm, and then multiply each digit one by one. Okay, let's do one more. So this time we have 9 times 5 and 48 hundredths. If you're watching this at home, this is where you pause the video and you try this one on your own. And then come back and see if you get the same answer as me. All right, let's get it going. So I know 5 and 48 hundredths has the most digits, so I want that on top. And notice I'm changing it back to unit form. If I have 5 and 48 hundredths, then I have 548 hundredths. And then I'm multiplying it by 9. Families watching this at home, I know you may be thinking, why aren't I just including the decimal point? The reason being, I need my students to know how to convert a number back to unit form in order to not get confused on knowing where to place the decimal once we're done with the problem. I find when I teach this, this is the most effective way to get that understanding, because students often are confused when they're done multiplying each digit. They're confused about where does the decimal go. This way avoids all of that. Here we go. 9 times 8 is 72. 2 on the floor. 7 next door. 9 times 4 is 36. 36 plus 7, let's see, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. That's also a 2-digit number. 3 on the floor, 4 next door. And lastly, 9 times 5 is 45. 45 plus 4 is 49. And now I can go ahead and bring my hundredths down. And my answer is 4,932 hundredths. Now take that number, place it on your place value chart, find the hundredths column, which is right here. I know my 2 should end up there. And I have 2, 3, 9, and 4. I bring my decimal down, and my answer is 49 and 32 hundredths. 49 and 32 hundredths. So that is it for today. Families, again, watching this at home, you're probably realizing we have a few extra steps, but I really want my students to be strong with their multiplication and have a deep understanding of what we are doing here. All right, stay tuned for the next video. I will talk to you soon. See you later.